Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Nady, and today we're traveling! As you beautiful people know, any tiff you may have, please cast it away because this is a channel of positive energy, okay? Thank you. Oh, my little mint juleps, how you doing today? I hope wherever you're at in the world, you're having a great day so far. I myself am doing wonderful. I'm actually just getting back from another trip, not the one we're about to see, but a different one. Does she have the traveling bug? She sure does. I am very grateful. I know that I kind of haven't been on for the last few months very much, or it's just been like a little squirt of a video and then another little squirt here and there. Well, after almost a full decade of being on YouTube, I'm a little bit burnt out. Actually, no, that's not right. I'm not burnt out. Like, I love my job. Coming in front of the camera, oh my gosh, that didn't sound right. Being in front of the camera, it just brings out a whole different side of me that you don't really see in my normal life. Like, I feel as though I come alive. It's almost like I'm talking with my best friends, which in a way I kind of am. And to be able to call that my job is just like unbelievable. So I'm not burnt out, but I feel as though I've not really done much for me in the last 10 years, or much before that, really. My love language is giving and making people happy, and that's really what I've been focusing on. And for a second, I want to do something for me, which for me is traveling and making memories and being surrounded by love and just cool people that I've never even met. Also, that's not supposed to be there. What the fuck is that? I had animal sitters while I was gone, and I think they must have been rearranging my house. I don't know. Hold on. What in the hell? It's still not right. Okay, anyways though, I just kind of put it out into the universe that I wanted to travel. This trip that we're about to see, I had been saving up for so long and it finally happened. And I mentioned in another video that I have a couple cruises that I won. Well, I ended up winning even more. Like, what in the fuck is happening? I'm not sure if cruise lines get something for being like at a certain capacity, but they're offering these like massively discounted trips and I would be so stupid to not say yes. So when I did my little Spain thing, I thought, oh, I'm gonna try to be a vlogger. Girl, I am not a vlogger. I have never been and I probably never will be. For a hot second, I thought, oh, this is gonna be my next career move. No, but in my defense, with this trip that we're about to see, it was kind of suggested by pretty much every local to not have like a selfie stick or like your camera out. I guess that's immediately how to spot a tourist. So I figured I'll get some pretty shots. We can do a voiceover. Maybe I'll put myself down in the corner. I don't know yet. But here we are, and it honestly was the trip of a lifetime. And though I am so grateful to the universe for helping me get these trips, first and foremost, I have to thank all of y'all. Like, with your support from a view to a comment, just even subscribing, it means so much to me. And that support is helping me be able to find inspiration to breathe life into like my old company through Repop. Like, Poplux will be back, the palette is ready to go, pretty much everything is ready to go. But because of everything that happened with COVID and just seeing how volatile the market is, I know that before I even want to launch anything, I need to have it paid off. And so because of your support with those glosses, all of that money is then able to go towards the relaunch. And so with the YouTube side, normally I would put pretty much anything that I have extra after rent and bills towards the relaunch. And so over here, I'm able to have a little bit more creativity and I'm kind of able to take a little bit of a break and get recharged and travel and just feel like a human again, not a robot in front of the camera, if that makes sense. So I'm sorry for going on a little tangent and rambling, but thank you so much for your support here. Thank you for the support with Repop. Thank you for the support with Poplux. I am just so grateful to be able to travel, to be able to call you my friends and my family, and to just have your continued support, even though a week or two might go by where you don't see my face. Just thank you for coming back. It's really an honor to have you in my life, and I'm glad that we could, in some form, kind of travel together and do this. But before we dive too far into this video, we have a sponsor. Honestly, y'all, this brand is one of my all-time favorites to work with. Their product has saved my life quite a few times. She does not drink her water like she should. But let's pause for a very quick and entertaining message. Oh, I just spit. Ooh. Today's video is brought to you by Liquid IV. As you can probably tell, I've been doing a lot of traveling lately, and with so much going on, it's easy to get dehydrated, which is why I always pack Liquid IV's hydration multiplier pretty much everywhere I go. I drink this stuff almost daily, like it's the freaking elixir of life. Just one pack in my water bottle helps hydrate me 2 times faster than water alone. Like, who wouldn't want that? No, I'd rather be a dehydrated little raisin my entire trip and feel super sluggish. No, ma'am. But the ingredients in Liquid IV help the body absorb and use more of the water that you drink, so it's perfect for literally anywhere, whether you're traveling, whether you're at home, or just need a hydration pick-me-up. I know, you're thinking, how can it be so tasty yet it's not filled with chemicals and packed with sugar? Magic. No, it's actually chemistry. And the chemists at Liquid IV cram these little packets with 3 times the electrolytes you'd find in gas station sports drinks. You know who you are. And to top it off, these babies are full of B3, B5, B6, B12, and a ton of vitamin C. And she's a philanthropist too. For every packet of Liquid IV that's purchased, they'll then donate a packet to a thirsty person in need. So by helping yourself, you're helping other people. There's literally no losing here. Oh, and is she a vegan? You bet she is, and a diverse queen too, with tons of flavors to choose from. My current obsession is Concord Grape, but I also really love tropical punch and strawberry. And if you need sleep or energy, Liquid IV still has your back with so many different variations, not just strictly hydration. As I'm sure a lot of you know, I am not at all a code pusher, but if you're interested in Liquid IV and want to try it, either use the link down below or use the code POPLUX. Plus, it helps Liquid IV know who from this video is going over to the website and who doesn't love saving money. But a huge thanks to Liquid IV for sponsoring this video. When I tell you I love them, I really love them. Like, I'm on a cruise right now and I've given so many of these little packets to people who are just having a difficult time staying hydrated. And this stuff is honestly a lifesaver no matter who you are, whether you're on land or in the middle of the ocean. And of course, a big thanks to you for being here, because without you, there would be no me. So my loves, check out Liquid IV and get hydrated today. And with that being said, back to our scheduled program. And we are back. Let's dive in, shall we? Okay, so of course I had to start with a little cocktail. I think this was an old-fashioned. I know, who the fuck am I? But it was delicious. The flight was like only 7 or maybe it was like 8 hours straight to Barcelona. It was so beautiful. This was, I think, my second time there. The architecture is fucking divine. Look at this. A dude just has bubbles and is blowing them for the kids to play around. Bubbles were super popular. This, I think, was Park Citadel. I think that's what it's called. That I could be wrong, but it is just gorgeous. It's huge. There's like these gold sculptures, all these water fountains. People take wedding photos there. It is just fucking gorgeous. There was actually a dude doing like yoga and shit. Very, very cute. This was on the beach. These are actually sand sculptures. People put fire in them and then they ask for tips. Oh my fucking God, this bar was the shit. I believe it's called Somnia, but it was themed kind of like a circus. And so we got one drink that was based on the It movie, and it came with like a balloon and the mug was shaped like the It head. And then I got a drink where you ate a flower, like rubbed it on your lips, and then you drank the drink and it made your mouth numb and like totally make the drink taste different. It was so cool. Even if you aren't in Spain, just Google that shit. It is so beautiful. Anyways, now we are moving on to the actual stateroom. This was on the Wonder of the Seas. It's actually the largest cruise ship in the world right now. It was so damn big. I loved it. Oh my gosh. Normally I don't mind children, but on a cruise, if there is like a child-free option, I will totally fucking be in. And this was pretty much as close as I could get on this line. I think there was like 100 kids on board, which that sounds like a lot, but there's also like 10,000 people. So out of that, not too bad. But this was just a really pretty port to be in. I loved Barcelona. I would definitely go back like a million times. And then we just explored the cruise ship. They always have these beautiful extravagant pieces of food that I don't know if anybody actually ends up eating, but this ship had really cute artwork. I kind of related to those dogs. The pool is just fucking massive and there's like 10 of them on board. I don't really swim where other people swim, so I didn't use them, but so much shit to do. There was like a slide. You can see me coming down. There was a zip line. If you've ever cruised before, you'll know that the clientele on a cruise, they're like a little bit older, so the zip line was not popular at any point, nor was the slide. I think I did it like 20 times. But there's a giant thing called the solarium, and it's like an indoor pool and spa. One of the jacuzzis just looked out the front of the ship and it was like an infinity thing. Then right outside the casino, which kind of smelled like smoke, I didn't like that, there was this gold walled room. It was just sparkly and so elegant, but also a little bit tacky, which sounds like me, so I loved it. Oh my gosh. And then one of the nights after dinner, it may have been the first night, we were just walking along and we hear this loud music, and on the back of the ship, they were doing a freaking water show and people were diving from like several stories up. I don't know how they didn't like blow their eardrums or break bones, but it actually turns out that a majority of these swimmers are Olympians. Like, holy shit, they have been places. They also had ice shows, and a lot of those people have been to the Olympics in some form. It was just like wild, like so much massive talent on this cruise ship. Who'da thunk? Like, I totally understand cruising is not for everyone, especially if you enjoy a younger crowd, but if you keep to yourself like I do, it is honestly the best way to travel. Like, all your food is included, housing is included. It's just magnificent. Okay, so we are finally at a port, and I think this was Palma de Mallorca. There was a beautiful fucking church. It was just amazing. I'm not a religious person, but there's something about churches and places of religion that I like to explore. They just mean something to me, and I get some kind of feeling. I'm not sure what it is, but I like them. I like the smell, you know? So of course we had to go inside of this beautiful cathedral, but I think what I found most interesting was that it was lined with a lot of homeless people and a lot of people begging for food and begging for money and shelter and just anything. Yet we had to pay to go inside of the church that was lined literally from floor to ceiling with gold and jewels and rubies. And like right outside of that is all of these poor people. So I really hope that the money that we had to pay to go into this place helped the community, because that just seems like the right thing to do. But it was such a gorgeous experience. I love just the smell of this place. It was like incense with wood and old and dust. And then there was this fabulous little courtyard just in the middle of it with the weirdest bathrooms. They were unisex bathrooms, so a lady would be peeing, a dude would be at the urinal. Just really interesting. And then weirdest of all, there was a big ass giant fucking panda right outside. But down in the city, such gorgeous like apartment lined streets. Like this to me is so Spanish and just, oh, I loved it. Then of course back to the ship for a beautiful sunset. Next we went to, where the fuck was this? This was in Valencia, which if you've heard of Valencia, you've probably heard of Valencia oranges. We saw groves and groves of them. It was absolutely breathtaking. And when you'd roll down the window, it kind of smelled a little bit citrusy and like eucalyptus. So anyways, we're underground doing like a cave tour, and this was like legit cave touring. Like we had to duck, and if you didn't duck, you'd be fucking beheaded. And you actually aren't allowed to take pictures or videos or any kind of photography in here, but this was on Halloween and they had it decorated and they were like, today you're allowed to take videos. I was like, what luck? So that was really, really cool. And they basically took the biggest cave there and turned it into like a concert venue. Like people have concerts, I'm assuming, in a boat under there. And so the acoustics were magnificent, but they were playing the Jurassic Park theme song and they had all these dinosaurs projected on the walls, and it was just so damn cool. And then of course we went back to the ship and they had rowers in pretty much every port. I don't know if that's a super European thing. Maybe they do that in the States and I just don't know about it, but it was extra fun because you could hear their little voices say, and row, and row. I was like, oh, that's cute. Our next beautiful stop, I believe, was Cartagena. I do remember it being just extravagantly colorful. Like, look at these buildings. They're just masterpieces, and it was fucking everywhere. You'd look to the left, there'd be beautiful buildings. You'd look to the right, there'd be a random harpist. Like, where in the fuck does that happen other than like here? And streets just lined with flowers. In almost every stop though, we did go to the mall, which I think was called El Corte Inglés. I probably butchered that, but it was so damn cool. It was like 15 levels of everything you could possibly need, from air conditioners to luggage. Doesn't even matter. It's all there. And then we had a few tapas. That is huge in Spain. We had cheese spoons, one with pesto put on bread. And then there was a local charcuterie with sweetmeats and salted and blanched almonds, fresh bread, and white wine. Oh my gosh, the wine is so freaking cheap there. It's unbelievable. It is a crime how much people in the States pay for wine. I'm talking like $1.90 for a bottle. So damn inexpensive. Anyways, we are now moving on to Malaga. I loved Malaga so much. They actually had like marble lined streets, very exquisite, probably extremely expensive and super bitchy to upkeep. I couldn't imagine that, but we did a full on like real tapas tour. It was super long and just amazing. The buildings here had a very similar kind of very old world vibe that the other ports had, but these ones looked a little bit more like Gringotts Bank, if you know what that looks like. And then they have these splendiferous markets that are just wide open. They have fresh fruits, fresh veggies, fresh fish, still alive fish, still alive meats. Like, it's an experience. This is one of our tapas. We have plantain chips and there's some fish, and then they put this syrup on top. I'm pretty sure it's molasses mixed with honey, I think, but it tastes very molassesy, but they put it on a lot of things. It really enhances the flavor. It's great. But just like, look at these buildings, look at how colorful their foods are. Everything just tasted so much better there than it ever does here in the States. I think it's because there's a lot less chemicals, like the flour you can eat because it's not pumped with shit like it is here. Oh, then I have to pause this. So these steps, they actually built a library over all of this. And one day, I think during construction, maybe they were adding something on, they were doing a little digging and they found a step. They were like, what the fuck is this? And so they dug a little deeper and found even more steps to find that there was like this whole amphitheater that was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. And so they ended up tearing the library down because who the fuck needs to read when there's history? They excavated all of this, and then underneath almost the entire city. There's like all of these little pathways, kind of like the catacombs in Paris, but not quite as dramatic. But they would store all their foods in there, and it was kind of like a refrigeration system. I think like cool air would flow through or something. I don't know. People were fucking ingenious with what they had back then. But yeah, see, there's like a castle up there, and I think you can go in it, but we really didn't have time. And then literally like 10 footsteps from this is right where Antonio Banderas grew up. He had this apartment, and I guess he still is a very big donator and supporter to this city. But look at this shit. There are orange lined streets. What the hell? Then that evening, we passed through the Straits of Gibraltar. This is the Rock of Gibraltar. I didn't know we were passing that, but everyone was like, ooh, look. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've heard of that. And so that was a really cool experience because like you're surrounded by different continents. It was very dark. I think this was maybe at like midnight, so I apologize because it's grainy as shit. But this kind of gave us a really good chance to tour the ship at night. It is so pretty. They have the best ambiance lighting ever. And that was pretty much it. We had 8 more days of sailing to get from Spain over to Orlando, and it rained at some points, it was sunny at some points, but overall it was just a really, really beautiful trip. I 1000% recommend traveling to any of these places if you ever get a chance to. It's just exquisite, from the food to the scenery to the people. The language is just, oh, it's almost like a Spanish-French mixture, and it's just super romantic, and whoo, you will be sitting in a puddle if someone is sitting across from you just speaking at you. They could be saying, I like pigs in a blanket, and you're like, oh yes, tell me about it. Oh, just divine. But yeah, the rest of the trip, I honestly worked on like murder mystery scripts. I worked on getting the clips you just saw all prettified, and for some reason, I was not seasick once. Normally, I'm like green in the face and like, fuck all of this. Why did I ever do this? But no, it was great. So hopefully that continues. But yeah, please let me know if you like this style video. I'm always happy to whip my camera out and show the scenery. Like, if you're cool with these visuals and just me talking, fucking let's do it. Because that is the only way we'll get a vloggy style video, honestly. Anyways, my loves, thank you so much for being here, really and truly from the bottom of my heart, with every fiber that I have. Thank you for all of the support, for all of your patience, for just everything. I'm getting a lot of inspiration for future collections, future series, and I really am so fortunate and so grateful to be able to call this my job and be able to, in some form, share what I see with the world. So my loves, there we go. But if you want a little bit more me in your life, head over to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/poplux. You get videos a day early, you get Patreon only content, and best part, it is cheap, fun, and fancy, just like me. Comment down below, let me know what you thought of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter at officialnady, and you can follow me online at thepoplux.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you again soon. Bye!